Welcome to the Hub Podcast. I'm your host, Cheney Passer. With me is Calypso Courtney.
Calypso, like the drinks?
Yeah.
The sugariest drinks in the world
Yeah.
with the brightest colors.
Yeah. I don't
Those are
like
good.
those types of drinks because they like stain your mouth. I'm like, I don't know, weird about that. I don't want to have something that's like all of a sudden I got blue all
Yeah.
around my lips or
I remember one time in, it wasn't, not civics, what other class was she teach? What was that? The class that we took with Miss Steve.
psychology.
Psychology. We were at AP Psychology and we were getting like Oreos for one of the like experiments things that we were just like talking about that day, and you didn't want to eat them because you didn't want to have Oreo pieces in your mouth the rest of the day.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't
Wow,
like
this
it's like
really bothers you.
staining my mouth or like making my now you got like I don't know, just like chocolate crap all in your teeth and
Okay.
yeah, I'm not for it.
I used to like doing that with like suckers, because I felt like the blue one like made it cool, made your teeth look like whiter for some reason, as I'm like coating them in sugar.
Oh my god. It's like I think that's what it is. It's like, oh, this is what a kid does and looks like. It's like a kid, a kid has a Calypso and then they've got like the
Oh yeah.
the red above their lip or whatever. It's like you look like a child.
That's because
And
when
we're
kids
18.
drink, well, yeah, but I feel like when you think of like a kid, and you like that's a kid that like puts his whole mouth in the cup or like in.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He doesn't like sip it. He's like, I'm just gonna go crazy with the Gatorade, and I'm gonna have a ring all the way around because they just put their lips right in there.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised at how many adults I still
Yeah, true.
see that have the
True.
ring around their face.
Think of that though, like it's dyeing your skin that quickly. What is in that?
Yeah, seriously. Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
That's
so messed up.
That's what makes me think about it.
What was your favorite candy as a kid? And maybe not favorite, but what were your, like you would be excited to have it as a treat, or if you got it in like a Halloween bag?
Oh, I've always been a sucker for Reese's, just like the peanut butter cups. I like I'm definitely that kind of style, like the chocolate and the, just, I don't know if is that savory or something,
No, that's salty, I think.
salty.
But yeah, more of like the chocolates, the sweets,
Yeah.
not the sour candy.
Right.
Sour candy.
I'm not huge on the sour candy or like the fruity candies or
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And it's maybe because of the staining and all that type
Sure.
of stuff.
Is that
But-
what, like, if you were going to get a present, like not a present, but like if people were going to give you candy, like say for your birthday, like, oh, we know he likes this. That's what it would be, was Reese's.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm trying to give you like a more specific scenario, not just like, what candy do you like?
No, yeah.
Gotcha.
I just was never like, happy birthday, here's a bunch of candy.
I don't know why right now Yard House sounds so good.
Oh, yeah, that always sounds good.
For anybody that doesn't have Yard House by you, it's kind of like just
It's like a-
typical like bar place where you get like, but
see,
it's
I don't
not
even
though.
think
It's
it is.
better. You're right. I
It's
said
like
that and I
more
was like, I'm downgrading it right now.
Yeah, it's more fancy than that. I feel like it's like a
It's like an upscale
Buffalo Wild Wings maybe.
chili.
Because it's kind of
Maybe,
sports
yeah.
bar-ish, but maybe even not that. I don't know.
I'm gonna talk myself into going, so I have to
Oh,
proceed
okay.
with caution. But they have like their menu is it's cool because it has like a bunch of different, like you could get like chicken and lo mein and rice dishes, but then you also get like Nashville hot chicken sandwiches or good burgers or pastas, but they do it well. It's not just like, oh, there's way too much going on here and you are not handling any of it.
Yeah.
They have an awesome happy hour. They also have the beer selection is insane.
Yeah.
And Yard House, you can get them in like a half yard.
Yeah. You can get them in like a really tall glass. It's cool.
Dinner? Are we going there for dinner?
No.
Fine, tomorrow when we're out weekend.
Tomorrow. Yeah. Well, yeah, you leave in a couple days, so we got to have some fun before you go.
I know, leave in a couple days. That's what's kind of crazy. Like, I eat out the whole time that I'm there, but I think because it's not like I associate eating out with the experience. That's what these weekends show me. Because like literally every meal I'm eating for 4 days is eating out. Whether
Yeah.
we get we get Panera, or like we got Chinese the past couple times where I'm like literally getting what I would order here of like a chicken lo mein or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
If you can't tell, she loves chicken lo mein. It's like the 8th time she's brought it up on this.
I don't like I'm not really connecting to like, oh, I get like fun food all the time.
Yeah.
It's like it's really about going to the place, and
Yeah.
like that's why like, I don't really like takeout unless that's like part of the experience. Where like we're getting pizza, or we're getting Chinese,
Yeah.
and we're coming back and like watching a movie or something.
Yeah.
I really like going to the place and enjoying the full ambiance. And
Isn't that kind of funny to think about? Like people will go to pizza places and like eat there.
yeah,
I don't know if I've ever done that. It's not like I'm dissing them or anything, but it's like it's just kind of like they have seating there. Like people will go and order a pizza, and
yeah,
you know they have I guess maybe like a pizza party. They probably do at those places and stuff. But it's
I feel
like I
the
don't
only
think
time
I've
I've done
ever
that is
done
like
that.
if it's been a not like just like a. I've done that for Pizza Hut when we were kids, but we also just in Janesville didn't have a lot of like sit down places to where it wasn't like we had a lot of like fast food pizza places. We didn't have
Yeah.
the like mom and pop pizza parlors where you're gonna go in, you're gonna get beers and root beer and sit down and like have this full like oven or like a wood burning, you
wood
know, like
fire.
to where you are supposed to sit down. That's normal to sit down there. To
That's
where
true.
Domino's, Pizza Hut, all those they're meant to be taken out.
Yeah. But isn't it kind of funny like even just that is more likely the option? Like for some reason, like the way that we have done pizza is that we order it and take it home. Same with like
Right.
Chinese, where you can
Yeah.
go eat it at home. But then it's like
Which
there's
is
other things that were just like, no, it's you eat it there type of thing.
so isn't that weird? Think about that. Like even what culturally what that is derived from. Like two cultures that really, really prioritize eating and the community of eating
Yeah.
and sitting down. Like both the Chinese and the Italian culture is like really you family style.
Yep.
You sit down, you make it
You
a
share the
thing,
food
you share
and-
the food.
Yep.
You have it be like this long lasting event for the day.
Yeah.
And we're taking that and spinning it going, this fits good in a box.
Yeah.
Let's bounce.
Let's see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
We gotta stop talking about food.
I know. I haven't had breakfast. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm starving waking up this morning. And then that I'm like, oh.
Yep. Not good.
We also haven't been really out of the house in the last couple of days. So I feel like I'm like itching to go somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about how to, one of our listeners also asked this question of, she wanted to know when she's done with one of our programs, which she's coming up to the end of one, how do you go about moving forward? Can you repeat the same program? Do you move on to another one? Can you, kind of just like, she's at that point now, so now what? And just kind of giving an overview of no matter what program of ours you're doing, this is kind of the options.
Yeah. I think with our program specifically, they're designed so that you can run them back to back. So I guess the answer to that question is yes, you can just redo it because it's something that we talk about on here all the time of like, you kind of want to do what you haven't been doing in a sense, to where if you have been doing like a strength phase for a while, or you come to the end of this program and it's in the 5 repetition range, well, that program probably started in the 15. So then when you're done with that phase, if you want to just restart the program over, you're not only like able to start from scratch again, but it's going back to the thing that like you should be doing, kind of like it's not what you have been doing. So you can restart it and now you're doing something new again, rather than it being just like, 3 months of you're in the same rep range and all that type of stuff. It actually works you into a different rep range throughout the program. And then if you start it over, you start back at the other one. You can go through again.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I did not listen to anything that you just said. I don't know why. I was very out of it. So if I repeat some of the same things, I'm very sorry. Yeah, that's why I do like about the programs is they're already phased for you.
Yeah.
So The only thing that I would suggest is maybe you could do something different, just because that would give you just a different goal or intention, or
Yeah.
like all of our programs are very different from each other. I
Mm-hmm.
think, like, if you're doing Atlas, which is the building strength and you're really going to put on size, and then you go into something like Olympia Elite where it's really focused on bodybuilding and you're going to be upping your volume and upping your days per week.
Yeah.
Your schedule is going to change. Your intention of every workout is going to be different. Your reps, all that stuff is going to be different. That could be fun. But if you're someone that's like, no, I just like knowing what I'm doing. I liked the results. I want to see if I can push the results and see if I can continue with this progress. Then that's where the repeating can come in. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think so. Yes, you can repeat the program. Another thing you can do is just kind of whatever rep range or whatever part of that program that you felt like you didn't do as well with. It was maybe harder for you, because we all kind of have these natural rep ranges that we sit into. That, like, for me, I don't do the 5 to 7 rep range that much. So if I ended the program with 5 to 7, I would maybe extend that out a couple more weeks, just because I know I don't do it a lot. It's probably the harder one for me to do, and it's just something that I'm needing more. So if you have a rep range, whether it's the first one, the second one, or the third one, and you don't really want to redo the whole program over, you just want to do a couple more weeks, I would pick whatever rep range you struggle most with, so you can get better at that and do that for a little bit longer.
That is what a big benefit of doing programs over again is. You kind of get to take the data that you learned from doing it the first or second time and either work on specific chunks of it, or just going like, okay, now that I'm to the end of it, I really noticed like I could have been upping my mobility during this phase. I could have maybe, and also like our programs they can be somewhat adapted to your personal needs. I wouldn't go really crazy with it, because kind of like then you might not be doing it how it's supposed to be done, or how it's written. But like you can go, well, this one phase was hard for me, I'm going to do it for an extra week. And then this one, kind of like what I've talked about with, maybe cutting. It's like most programs will maybe have me cut for 3 weeks. Well, I've learned that 2 weeks is kind of my prime. So then I can adjust it that way. Or like I said, working on more mobility while I'm doing that, so I'm getting different results. Or maybe I realize I didn't really push it as much as maybe I could, just because this is something new for me. Now I can really go in there and crank up the weight. Or doing something where, okay, I have the workout portion of this down. I know what I can expect. I know how to push myself. I know how to calculate each phase of this. Now maybe let's add in my diet with it and see what I can change alongside the workout program.
And I think, going off of what you said in the beginning of, you do the program, you kind of gain that data. I think what's cool about restarting it over is, like, if you still kind of have the same goal, like my sister doing that with the strength one, with Atlas. You go through it, you're trying to build strength, you're trying to get stronger, and then she finished it and she's restarting it over. Well, now she's back to that first start. She can go, okay, last time I did dumbbell chest press, I did it with the 20s. Now I should, like, the point of this program is to get stronger. I should be able to do more. So you can see if you've gained strength, and then you can go through each phase again and see if you gain strength. So it's like, you've kind of done the test and the experiment. Now you're going back through and seeing if it worked by doing the program over again. And then you're just basically trying to redo the same thing of, okay, well, now I want to get even stronger, so I should be grabbing more weight. And it should be, I don't know, I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, you just get to test your results, kind of thing.
Test your results and just like, I don't know, see how far you can make it with, like, before you maybe start plateauing. But again, that's why our programs are set up. I'm saying programs weird.
I don't think
Programs.
so. Programs.
I'm noticing the more that I don't know, maybe I'm not, and I'm just in my head. I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit, like my voice is changing very slightly, or I'm just hearing it in some words where I'm like, I've never said it like that in my life, and now I can't not say it like that.
I mean, it might
programs.
You're around, more
Southern people.
More Texas people, yeah. That's what happens to my mom when she goes to Louisville to see my aunt. She all of a sudden she comes back and it's like she's been living there for 10 years. All of her words have changed and
Like, you were there for a day and a half. Like,
yeah. Like, you like met her for lunch. That was it. Why are you talking like this?
I love people that do that though, where they'll go on a vacation or they'll do that and they'll start to like adapt to the people that are there, and then they'll start to like even just like food places, like talk like talk about local places like it was their childhood.
Yeah. Yeah. Reminds me of the Friends episode where Monica, I think she goes to Jamaica or something. She comes back. She's got all the
With
beads
dreads.
in her hair. She's like swooping them back and forth.
People like that just dive in, and I appreciate that to an extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I like specifically about redoing programs, because you can take the data, you can go with it, you can see like I said, they're set up so that you are continually getting a new stimulus. So technically you really shouldn't plateau, because it's designed to continue to give you a different stimulus and a change for that you don't really have to think about it. But intention is huge. Like, like if I said like adding on the diet with it, if you're running maybe the strength program, you're probably going to be, or how I would run it, I would probably start adding more calories in. I would try to focus on my eating and getting that calorie number up so that my strength is fueled and my workouts are fueled a little bit more because I'm pushing the weight more. So that is a very specific lifestyle that maybe I get to a point where I'm like, I don't want to focus on food that much. I'm just kind of wanting to maintain the calories that maybe I've built, but I don't want to focus on pushing my numbers with that. That's maybe where I would go, okay, maybe it's time for me to switch to more of like a bodybuilding, where I can, how maybe I would do it is adjusting my calories or not focusing on so much and just focusing on building what I want to do. Mm-hmm. But that could be another cool thing with something maybe like our other programs of Olympia and then Olympia Elite, is you can even take specific body parts and rebuild them out. Of going like, okay, this full round I'm going to build up my back, and this full round I'm going to build up my chest, and just focus on those body parts different, or give yourself different goals even within the same program.
Yeah. Well, and I think kind of like what you said of adjusting the calories and whatnot, I like to do that with strength stuff specifically, where it's like I don't even adjust my calories. I just eat how I normally eat, because then you can kind of find out how strong, because you still gain some strength, and you can find out how strong you are or could get kind of at that weight, or just at that how many calories you're eating. And then if it's something where you want to get stronger, then you should increase the calories. But it is like you can run a strength phase without upping the calories. You can run we don't really have like a losing weight program, just because that's so much more specific, I feel like, and individual. But like if you were to try to get really defined or chiseled, which I think is something you could do like with Olympia, you don't need to adjust your calories that much. You can do it by just eating how you normally eat, or trying to make healthier choices if that's part of what you're doing. But having the calories pretty much the same, and then doing the program, you'll get chiseled in the body weight that you are. And then if you want it to change your body even more, then you can adjust the calories and that sort of thing. But it's like you can run the same program multiple different ways by changing your diet, changing how many calories you eat. The one thing that I would say why you maybe shouldn't run it again is because you might be missing out on certain exercises. So the program is going to have, these exercises that you go through. Well, if you run it through again, you're kind of just doing the same exercises over again. You could be missing out on something else. And that's why in that case, I would recommend doing a different program, because you're going to get different exercises that you get to do, just creating a even more balanced body and working in all domains and that sort of thing. So that's where I would say it could be a negative. That's, I don't know, I think one small negative compared to the rest of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. It's so just based, to me, or really it's based off of interest.
Yeah,
What
totally.
vibe are you feeling? What are you feeling motivated to do that again? Are you getting bored? Well, then maybe change it to something else, because you know, it's not like it's a short program. So you're gonna, if you're bored already, you're going to get bored as it goes on. So I would say switch it up, keep your mind excited to go to the gym, or at least somewhat intrigued because you're trying something new and you're having to focus on something new. So yeah, I would just say analyze how you're feeling about it, analyze your progress, analyze how your body is looking. Are you liking that shape? Are you liking what it's turning into? Are you liking the, you know, the numbers and the strength that you're seeing? And that goes for any one of our programs. I feel like I'm kind of started talking a little bit more about Atlas specifically, but that goes for any one of them. Like what are you seeing happening? What are you seeing your mindset being about it? And then that can be kind of more of your decision making of, do I repeat this one? Do I do another one? Do I focus on specifics in this one, or do I run it exactly how it is? Because it's so that we want these to be individual, but it might be more on your end of figuring out how to make it that way, of just where you're at, where you're sitting right now.
Yeah, totally. And I think if you can scope out a little bit too of, you know, you're doing the program and you're kind of looking at that end date a little bit to see where you're going to be at. I think that's what deters a lot of people from running the program over again, is because you kind of, and I feel like you hear it in the fitness industry, you hear it from other people of like, well, I want to get as much change as possible. And it doesn't really make sense to do it over again because like I'm just doing the same thing over again. I need to do something different to elicit more change and all that kind of stuff, to where I think there's a learning element to it of like, I ran this program, and if you were able to be in it and paying attention and seeing, you could see if your strength went up, or you could see how your body's changing during it. But I think running it again, kind of, it's like you get the answers to the quiz type of thing. Like the teacher graded it and it gives you back, and you get to look at, see what you did well, what you did wrong. That's how, like, running it again, I think what can do that, you can learn new things while you're going through it. You can see if the program actually worked for you the first time versus this second time. Is it going to be like as beneficial to you as maybe something else would be? Who knows? But I think that's what deters a lot of people right away of running it over again, is it's like, well, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. And everybody says that you need to switch it up and do something different, to where, yes, there's some truth to that, but that's also how these programs are designed, so that you are doing something different as you started over. And then you get to analyze and go through it again and see, you know, did I get, like if it's Atlas, did I get stronger? Am I doing these exercises better this time? If it's Olympia, it's like, am I like seeing more definition? Am I doing these exercises right? Am I doing them well? How am I feeling? But they're designed to restart, so you shouldn't be getting burned out at the end of them.
Sure. Yeah. I feel like I see this as like watching a movie. You can watch a movie 3 times, 4 times, and still like miss certain parts. Because it's just like there's so much going on with, it could be a new stimulus, it could be new information, it could be new exercises that you've never done before, that running this one time, if we're seeing like in the past episode talking about practicing the skill of lifting, you want to be able to hone that in and fully give yourself the time and space to be able to understand what you are doing, because then you're going to get the best benefit out of it. So again, just pushing for, that's why they can be done back to back, is because there's so much to learn. There is so much to have a different intention for, or a different direction, or just put more focus on certain things that maybe you didn't in the first place. And then you can kind of, that's why I also like tracking too, when you do these, of where was my weight at? Because sometimes I feel like we can forget, or for me, like I don't really pay attention that much unless I'm writing it down. I'm like, oh, I don't know, maybe we'll just like throw on the 25s. I'll go look at my book, and it's like, that's not even close to the weight that I was doing. But I would have probably just done the 25s because I'm guessing. To where you can kind of go, okay, this is my first time running through. Maybe the second time I'm going to add in more mobility. How did my progress between running A and running B, how did it adjust? Or I did it normal the first way, and then I added more carbs into the second round. And
Yeah.
how does that look? How did that make me feel? How did that do with my list? How do my numbers look? Um, but I think if you're going to switch it up, I would, just like you should with starting any workout program, is how does this look into your life and look into your schedule and look into what you're wanting? Not going, oh, this looks cool, but going to your why, which we talked about in the last episode of what do you want to get to? Where do you want to be? What do you want to look like? How do you want to feel? Then you'll be able to decide if this program is going to get you there or help you there or assist you or going to put you in a completely opposite direction just because that's not what the intention of the program is. If you're wanting to, to get really good at your performance and you're like, well, but the logo of this Atlas one looks cool. It's like, well, we're not focusing on performance at all in this program. We're just focusing on getting strong. So now you're going to kind of be bummed out or not take it with a certain seriousness because just you didn't really ask your why of what you're wanting. And just looking into the program of like Olympia Elite, that's like 6 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week. Can you handle that amount of volume? Is that something that you are ready to dive into? And maybe it is. Maybe it's something like I want it in the program to challenge me to get to that or just to try something new. But kind of looking at the program in a full scope and go, is this something that could benefit me or not?
Yeah. And that's why I'm not such a huge fan of like the 30-day challenge type things, because a lot of the times it's pushing you to your limits that at the end of the 30 days you're burnt out and you can't do any more type of thing. That's not how these programs are designed. They're designed so that you could do them for the next 40 years if you wanted. Would I suggest doing the same program for 40 years? No, but the point being you shouldn't get burnt out from it. And that's kind of why it's like, some of them are 3 days a week, some are 4 days a week. They're also designed like if it's a 4 day a week one, you can do it for 2 days. It's really supposed to fit in your schedule. And like you brought up the Olympia Elite one being more like 5 days a week. That's for the intense gym goer, the person that loves being at the gym. They want to do something every day. So if you haven't been doing that already for a long period of time, I wouldn't suggest doing that one. And that's also why we have Olympia so that it's a similar program in the sense that it's designed to take you down the same path. It's just less days a week. But sustainability, that's what our whole brand I feel like is about, is we want people to not just do a 30-day challenge and get through it. Like we want you to do a 45-year challenge. Like,
yeah,
let's think about what you're going to be when you're 80, 90 years old, and let's set up a lifestyle of diet and exercising and take you down that path and make it be healthy and, I don't know, just keep you going. Not this like you got done with the 30 days and now we don't see you again for 3 months. And then you come back in and it's like, I need another 30-day challenge. I need to get back into it. It's like, well, we want you to go 12 months straight for 40 years. So that's why we design the programs that way.
Well, and that's where I think if you're getting close to being done with a program or right now, if you're in the in-between, always kind of have an intention or have an idea of what you are doing. Even if you are in the like kind of where I'm at right now of I'm just trying to stay consistent. I'm doing the workouts that Cheney is doing because I don't really have any specific body goal or goal even in mind. My goal is to just stay consistent with my traveling and to stay healthy and to focus on continuing to eat and eating healthy foods. And just because the new stimulus that I'm adding is traveling more. So I'm wanting to make sure that I'm able to manage this lifestyle with fitness and health being involved in it. So at least I understand what is going on, not just like, well, I just go to the gym. I don't really know what happens. I don't know why I'm choosing this weight. I don't know why I'm choosing these exercises. I don't know why I'm eating like this. I think it's less pressure on what am I going to be doing? What's the program that I need to do? What's the goal? But just taking that 2 seconds to think with yourself of, okay, well, what direction am I doing? When this program is done, then what? Having maybe a plan or having just knowing what path you're going to stay on, because I think sometimes when we don't have a path, that's when we wander into maybe old behavior patterns, and maybe old behavior patterns aren't, well, I'll just take a day off, or like, I'm done with this program, so I'll just take a break and then think about it. And then it's 2 months go by, 3 months go by before you even get back to the gym. So I think no matter what direction you go, whether it's repeating it, whether it's doing another one of our programs, having an idea of where you're kind of feeling you want to go. But
Yeah, I think that's something else that I was going to suggest is like, it's totally fine to end the program and be like, you know what, I just kind of want to maintain, or I just want to like not really have a direction besides go to the gym and work out. So I think that's totally fine too. If you're just like, I did the program, I want to just like go and maybe do some of my favorite exercises, or I want to focus on this little thing and do that. I think that's totally fine. I think that's also why running the program over again can be nice, is it's like you're able to do something that you know is helpful and beneficial, and maybe during that second time you're running it through, you can see or think about more of maybe what you want to do, and then you can always just cut that program short and go into something else. So if you don't really know what you want to do after, you could just cycle it over and start doing it again, and then once you figure it out, you can jump out of it and go to something else and start that up with you know, just some fire or whatever. I like to do maintenance. Like I like to just go in and go, I just want to like work out and do some of the lifts that I like to do, or maybe it's like, you know, I never do these. I'm going to start doing these more, and just kind of usually what I do is just write up a full body workout. Just pick a leg exercise, a chest, a back, maybe an arms, a shoulder, and just do, if you're doing like 2 or 3 days, just do 2 or 3 days of that. Pick one of each and just do that for a little while and see what happens, and go with the flow. But I think, like you said, you know, you need at least something. So even if it's like, I'm just going to maintain, that's good enough. But this like, oh, I'll figure it out, that tends to be, you never end up figuring it out until 2 months later when you haven't been going to the gym.
because at least you're maintaining, is you have a direction. You know that this is what I'm doing. I'm maintaining.
Right.
Rather than like what you said, like, oh, I'm just gonna, see how it flows. It's like it flows into not going to the gym for 3 months. That's what it flows into. So when you have a purpose, that's why programs are really awesome for people, is because it keeps them on a schedule. It keeps you motivated towards the same goal, and you're having someone else kind of help you direct that goal of, this is how you can step by step, formulaic, play it out. But doesn't mean that that's what you have to be on all the time. You always have to be on a program. You always have to have a goal. You always have to have like an end game with this. Most of the time, once you get comfortable with this, most of the time can be maintenance if you really want to. If you're just focusing on health, you could go in and do those same full body workouts for years and years. And if you might not see a lot of body composition adjustment, but
Yeah.
your resistance training, you're getting your body moving. That's sustainable very, very, very long term.
Yeah.
The programs are more just for the fun of having an intention, having a very specific thing that you're going for.
Yeah.
Because it's cool to do that. It's fun to challenge your body and have an idea of what you want to get to. We don't have that in most regular life. It's like, our jobs don't really challenge us in that way most of the time. Or I don't know, we're not like doing marathons or doing these crazy, like where we have to fight for our food anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, that is the one thing that we can go and like, this is going to be the hardest thing I do today, or this is going to be the one that I have to really push myself, and every day I have to show up for this thing. That's cool. I think there's something to a purpose of that is really healthy.
Yeah. I think you said it's fun. That's part of why I like this so much, is it's just like, you can always switch it up and try something different. You can try to get stronger. You can try to get more lean. You can try to, get better at squats. Like there's so many different avenues that you can just try to become better at. And that's another thing you can do too. If you get done with the program, just, thinking or picking out a few exercises that you don't feel like you're good at, and just focus on getting better at those. I mean, it's like, I think when you pan out and you look at this over a long period of time rather than I need to look different in the next 30 days, it's a lot less, stressful. It's a lot less like you're freaking out. You can go, okay, I just got done with the strength program and I noticed like I don't like how my squat isn't that good. So I'm going to take the next couple weeks and work on my squat. And maybe I'm going to work on this other exercise, or I'm going to try to get more mobile. So I'm going to put more of an intention on mobility. That's going to benefit you way more than freaking out and having to run into a 30-day challenge. Like, you're going to get so much more benefit from that because you're going to learn something, you're going to get better at something. And then when you do decide like, okay, yeah, I want to try to get stronger again, or I want to maybe lose weight. Now you're going in it with more data. You've gone in it and you've learned something new about yourself, and you've maybe fixed an issue in your squat. That's going to push you so much further than the desperation and the panic of, I need to get stronger or I'm going to die. I need to lose weight or I'm going to die. And then you go and you do a 30-day challenge because that's all your panicky brain could think of to do. So I like the idea of just like, the program's done. Now let me go in and just experiment with stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I like, going back to just, this should be fun. This should be something that intrigues your interest. This could be something, and I'm not saying that during your workout you have to go like, oh my gosh, this is the best. I don't even do that. Like I told Jane, there is a point in every single workout I do. Most of the time it's like coming up from a squat. I'm like, I hate this. I hate this. This sucks. This is the worst part of my day. But if I pan out from that 2 seconds of that feeling, there's so like, this is one thing that, going back to kind of what we talked about yesterday on the podcast of controlling your feelings, controlling your mindset, controlling your life. This is one thing that is totally up to you. You might not like your job. You might not like where you live. You might not like a lot of things about your life, but your health and your fitness is all on you. And that can be so empowering and fun and cool. And if you take it not in the 30 days or not in these like short times, the more space you give, the more opportunity you have. Because if you can go, I'm going to give myself a year. Let's see where I'm at in a year. You give yourself a year's worth of time to play, to figure out like, okay, I'm going to get a little bit better at this. And then I'm going to get a little bit better at this. And I'm going to focus on this. When you have a year, you can do that. When you have 30 days, you're going to go, oh, I don't have time for mobility. I'm going to cut that out. Oh, I don't have time to practice my squat because I have 30 days. So I'm going to cut that out.
Yep.
It's like, well, now you're cutting out progress. You're cutting out opportunity to change in different ways and come up with new goals even. That it's fun to just see your body as like, I can manipulate this however I want.
Yep.
If I want to become really, really strong, I have the control of that. If I want to get really, really tiny and get good at running, I can do that. Mm-hmm. You have all of the choices in your hands, and the information is out there, that it's really just up to you of what do you want to have fun with right now.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good point. And it's a simple kind of trick of the mind of just pan out. Just look at your life as a whole, not the next 30 days or the next 60 even. Like if you go a year, that's a lot of time to learn a lot of different things. I feel like if we legitimately did like okay, this is what I know, January 2022, this is what I know. And then you go to January 2023, you probably know more stuff or know new things. That's a lot of time. 30 days, that's not a ton of time. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you'll start to cut out some important things because you're so focused on, this short time span and this one thing that, it's lose weight. I got to lose weight. So I only have 30 days. You start to get rid of the important stuff that, you get rid of mobility. You could get hurt then in that 30 days because you're not mobile. Your joints aren't happy and healthy and whatnot. But if you span out to a year, like you can fix your squat, you can get your grip strength better. You can, get more mobile. You can loosen up your hamstrings. Like, there's so many things that you can do in that year if you put the time and the intention towards it. But 30 days, that's not enough time. And those other things I just mentioned that you could get done in a year, that's going to help you way more in, say, losing weight or getting stronger. The panicking for 30 days to try to get stronger or lose weight, that's not going to get it done, because this whole thing, it doesn't get done in 30 days.
No.
You don't lose weight or get stronger and then you go, I'm done. Good for me. Like, you have to continue this progress. You have to continue to, be strong, or continue to, like, not lose weight, but not gain the weight back. That happens for the rest of your life. This battle's for the rest of your life. So let's make a plan for the rest of your life, not for the next 30 days.
Yeah. And with the shortened time that comes, like you kept saying it, like, that's intense. That feels stressful. That feels like you're on a time clock. You're on this, like, then that's not fun. And when you put yourself on such a tight, it's like think of anything, what we were talking about last night of, like, I need to do these schedules and I need to get them done right now. It's like, now that's creating desperation. And you're probably, some of you might already be coming from a desperate spot with, I don't like how I look, or I don't like how I feel, or I need to lose a bunch of weight, so I need to do it now.
Yeah.
If you give yourself longer time, you're going to give yourself more patience. You're going to give yourself more grace. You're going to give yourself more ability to look outside of your normal, well, I say that lose weight because that's where most people are at. I need to lose weight. So what's the quickest way I can do that? Because I have 30 days, or I have this short time that I want to do it now. That's where you're going to hop on the treadmill. That's where you're going to start cutting your calories versus, I have a year to do this. That's so much time.
Yeah.
That
you got your whole life to do it.
I can take my time with it. I can do this correctly. I can do this with intention. I can do this to where it's not going to burn out after the 30 days.
Yeah.
Setting yourself up for success, not just tomorrow, not just next week, not after the 30 freaking days, but doing it. What does my year look like? What does the next decade look like? Seeing your health as like money.
Yeah.
Not just the get rich quick. How can I create wealth and long-term wealth and generational wealth? How can I create long-term health and looking like this when I'm 50 years old? I mean, I just posted on my story a couple of days ago of like an 80-year-old doing a deadlift, and like a heavy deadlift.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Right.
That's not something that is not something that is not attainable for everybody.
Right. I think anybody can get there, but you gotta switch the mindset of, and I don't know, I go back to, like, you don't, get stronger and then that's it. Like, I was 195 pounds and pushing a lot of weight at one point. That's heavy for me. Well, now I'm not that because I wasn't doing it anymore. So it's like, you lose it.
Yeah.
If you're not working on it, you lose it. It's the same with, trying to maintain your weight. If you're not paying attention, you can easily gain weight. So you have to pan out. Like, you can't do this for 30 days and maybe you get to your goal weight. It's not done with. Like, this goes till you're 80 years old. Like, still deadlifting at 80. So I think just, you got to pan out. You got to look at this as a lifelong thing. And I think that's where you'll make better, safer, more sustainable decisions, rather than, I have to be at my goal weight in the next 30 days. Like, you're going to take shortcuts, and you're going to make some unsafe decisions, and you're going to create a really unbalanced, unsustainable lifestyle for those 30 days. And then when it's done, all of that comes crashing down, and you're going to have to start over again. And then in 2 months, when you recover.
Yeah. So I think to end it, let's just have that be that's the question you should ask yourself. If you're in the point where you're wanting to start a program, or you're wanting to just make that decision of what's the next, ask yourself, like, what's going to be fun? What's going to be something that is going to get me just a little bit closer to my goal? Or ask yourself that question. in a year, what things do I want to have gained? That doesn't mean I want to look like this in a year. If you feel like you can do that in a healthy mindset, okay, great. But do you want to learn more? Do you want to be better at the skill? Do you want to still have an enjoyment and an excitement with your health and fitness in a year? How do you do that? Then choose, okay, what program or what thing am I going to do to just stay on track with that?
I think the last thing that I'll say about it is it's a general advice is when you get done with the program, just take time to analyze. Like, don't just go about your day or just kind of roll out of it and nothing. Like, almost make it definite. Like, okay, the program ended. Now what? And sit and analyze of how it went, where you want to go with it, and then make a decision on, where you're going to go next, rather than just letting it be up in the air and no decision made. Because I think when we make a decision on something, even if it's like, I'm just going to make sure I get to the gym and do 3 exercises and I'll make them up when I get there, that is way better than you just leaving it up in the air and then not going to the gym for 2 months. So I think when you're done with the program, set that date, like, this is my last workout of this program, and the next day I'm going to sit down for 5 to 10 minutes and think about how it went, where I want to go, and then make a decision on what you're going to do next.
Yeah.
Cool. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow our Facebook page, The Hub Fitness, our Instagram at @thehub_fitness. And what do you want to tell them?
What video should we direct them to? What's something that you think they should hear? Or
I don't even
go to
know.
next? I think the last couple podcasts that we did were awesome. I think we kind of covered some of the same topics. So if you want to hear more about, your mindset with fitness or, kind of intentions, I would maybe continue with that.
Oh, do you want to tell them about our 15% off deal?
Yes, I do. Thank you. We also still have 15% off at the Wander Parlor. We will link that below. It'll be in the description. It's also on our Instagram all over. So go check that out. They have a bunch of awesome, clean products. I also just did a review of one of their products that they sell, the Earth Harbor Enzyme Mask. But yeah, if you're looking to get your hair healthy, your skin healthy, check it out.
All right. See you next time.